So hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. And the video I would like to do today is about a new item I prepared now for the line about my trucks, and it is related to a kind of bestseller that everybody building up my trucks need to have. This is what they call sometimes the Trilex wheel. Trilex was a kind of wheel and rims used by trucks during the 70s and the 80s and the 60s. It was quite different from today. Today, modern trucks have ordinary steel printed rims. Instead, this was a kind of a rim that you can divide. It was a kind of rim that was getting tight by the fixing of the bolt on the crown around the rim. It was quite typical of the trucks of that era. There was similar items on the American trucks, and not all of them were separable in three parts. Just part of them. I made this one with the lines here, so it should be a real Trilex, and nearly all the company have different central bolt, and I made the standard one for the Fiat vehicles, and this wheel is a bestseller, as I said, because it became the newer version of this one. This was the previous wheel that I used to sell, and was barely the tire was exactly coming from the Bussig from Revel, while the central part was a separated part. If you have this model, you know that the big tire is molded in rubber, black rubber, and the inner part is slightly different from this one I'm showing you, because that is the reason why I would like to keep them in my production, despite I don't make it any longer the rear one from these ones, because it was basically the same one you had in the model, not because it was not good, but it was because in the models from Revel usually the rubber can have some problem of oil leaking after some years. So it can happen that after you finished your model, you painted the tire and the wheels, there is a kind of chemical reaction between the paint and the rubber of the tire, and it happens that it can leak some oil or it can crack. It happened to me on some Italian trucks that simply the wheel completely melt away. This is kind of happening with Revel items. If you see that kind of rubber is not so nice to. Also, in the look is not so nice. I mean, it's quite oily already from straight from the box. So you need absolutely to primer it and to paint it, and that's why probably after a while the chemical reaction of the paint give problems with the formula of the rubber of the tire. So that's why I decided to sell this kind of Continental. It's a Continental tire, is probably was much more used over North European trucks, so German and Sweden and France and so on. But also Italian trucks used to have Continental tires. I have some picture in my folder with them. So this is still available in my catalog. It's no longer available the double rear one. The twin for the rear, made with this kind of wheel. I keep this one in production because there is some guys that want to do trucks as the 690 or the 690 mostly, or to make trailers that use the single one of this one. As you can see, the diameter is basically the same, I mean, you see, it's basically the same. It's the same diameter of the wheel. It's just a little different from in the design, in the design and in the pattern of the tire, But I wanted to keep this single wheel with the Trilex inside. It is the Italian Trilex. I call it the Italian Trilex, but it is a little different from the stuff that you can find in the Revel box, because the Revel one provide what I mostly seen on Dutch trucks, so the inner part of the sprocket, that part, I'm pointing with the nail, it is much more deeper in the Revel model, you know. Instead, in the Italians vehicles, it was very much more higher up. Then, I mean, to clarify what I'm trying to explain, it's enough that you check some picture of, for example, the 690s or the 682 used in Holland and the one used in Italy, and you see immediately the difference, or from the German trucks, you know, it's the same if you take Bussig and so on. And it is a 12.00/22, so it's a 22 rim in 1/24 scale. I think they are absolutely some of the nicest, you know, that you can find inside the trucks, and I think for sure they are kind of nicer of the items you can find inside the AMT or all the Revel kit, despite the fact that the one inside the American boxes is mostly 1/25 scale, so they are a little slightly smaller. And as I said in my previous videos about the Corvette coming from Revel and so on, when you work between 1/25 and 1/24, one of the most noticeable point of difference is exactly related to the wheel. So the wheels in 1/25 models are smaller, and the same for the tire, you know. I wanted to use some of the wheels coming from the Revel trucks or EMT just to make trailers and so on, because sometimes also the trailer had little slightly different wheels, so it was not a 12.00, it can be a /20, so it can be a little smaller rim, you know. And it also they properly made it on the marking over there, the rubber, so it is believable that you can use them for a different part. So this wheel is mostly available for the people that want just to convert using the Buffo Chinese 6 cab that they made to make a double steering, or to make more parts of the to make more parts of the front one that is not available in the box. So with this one still anyway available at today, we are in 2022 now at the time of the video, you still can make your own model starting anyway from the Bussig Revel, buying just two of these wheels and the cab, and you can anyway finish the model, you know. A little different argumentation is about these newer tires, you know. This is a brand new item that I saved and I made a new casting now. You see, it seems a tire shop. So now, currently, right now, despite I'm closed and I'm going to Sweden for some weeks, they are available. So this is the current production of this stuff, you know. And basically what they did, they took the insert coming from the previous wheel that you just seen, so from the Continental version, and in the original master they were separated from the tire, of course, to make you have a different material, you know, between the rubbers and so on. But we seen that there was the problem of the leaking of the quality of the rubber can be a problem, you know. So I decided to mold everything in resin, and the master of this wheel have been made by the guy from KMP. He made an excellent work working with the 3D. The resin I seen him today, you know, and the resin that he uses for this kind of model is perfect for the master, you know. I know that he's attempting to make a production in resin parts and so on. I seen it, but I think that it's still a long way to do, because it's kind of different process, you know. I mean, not the casting and the molding, but I mean the resin, you know, the resin that is involved in the 3D is something that simply, in my opinion, constantly go on catalyzing and changing shape and changing dimension. So you cannot work with something that is made like this. This is ordinary resin, the resin of our models, you know, that once is catalyzed, then it becomes hard like a stone, you know. You can sand it, you can use a Dremel for that, but that will never melt again. You have to use an air dryer or place it in boiling water and try to make them become softer and so on. But otherwise, in the ordinary ambient, they will never change the shape and they will never become different, you know. So the pattern was absolutely well done. You see, it's the typical Z. This was the name of the Michelin X tire. That was typical from the 70s, I guess. I find also the original commercial from Michelin about the tire track that they also banned me from Facebook, because I don't ask me why, guys, but you know that sometimes my account in Facebook get hacked, get closed. I don't know what the fuck is going on there, but you know, I remember one time I get a ban because I was posting just a picture of Michelin X Z pattern tire, and I get a ban. Don't ask me why, what there is something weird in what I post. Okay, no problem, you know. and and that's it. Also is molded, you see, everything is molded on the tire. So I think it's absolutely a needing. I made this set because this single one plus the double rear, the double rear. Now it is I adapted it in a different way, to make it more easy. I don't know which is the name of this part in English. We call it mozzo in Italian. It is the central part of the wheel that mostly in the Baffo series is coming this way out. You can see that from many pictures. I also made it in the previous one of the wheels, but it was not so pronounced, And I mean, it's absolutely mandatory if you want to build up a Fiat 170. I made a green truck now. Is the first one, is the show truck that I made for my production, and it was mandatory to use this kind of wheels because they are absolutely amazing. You see, when you just see this kind of pattern, of course this is the molding point that you just have to keep it in the lower part, of course, when you build up your truck. But I think the quality of this stuff is absolutely amazing and really gives a special plus to any of your mold. It seems really to be in a tire shop when you see the stuff this way. This is so typical from the truck of the 70s. And I know all the technical name for rubber tires, but I don't know the same explanation in English. I'm not a tire guy in the UK or in America, so I don't know how to explain, but I think you understand what I mean about the pattern and the design of the tire. So that's it. If you want to build up a proper Fiat 682 and you don't want to use the old Continental tire from the Revel box, if you want, I still have it, and it's possible still to barely use just the box from Revel, both the Krupp Titan and the Bussig kit, so it's okay just with this one. But if you want something nicer, if you want something really more serious, in my opinion, you can use these wheels, of course, and for a combo over a Fiat 690 you can use this kind of combo. So it's a double single. It's the same that you can use also for other trucks as my 180, 697 and so on. So it's something that you can use on every cab that I made for my trucks. Currently in my production there is just the Baffo type and the 170. Soon I'm going to produce also the cab about the 619 that is suitable also for the Fiat 300 and the 697. So if you also want to build up the Rhinus, the Reinhardt truck, the big 697 that I made some years ago. I also have the decal for that model, so everything will be available soon. It's just a little complicated with the production as usual because this is completely artisanal stuff, and the time, the prices is completely out of scale compared to any kind of plastic productions. Sad news it was that the guy that gave me all these hell of a truck tires, also told me that of course also the resin increased the prices. So for now I will not increase the price of this, but then the future productions will be a little more expensive also for this reason. Everything is increasing in prices, and you know better than me, guys, so that's it, and I cannot do so much here about that. So that's it. The wheels are currently available, so from autumn I'm making this video now. It's late August 22, and I think I will make it public for the end of September, election day in Italy. So after all the exposition and so on, when my 170 will be back home in Italy and will be available to travel for shows and for expo and so on. So that's it, guys. I hope you like them. I love these kind of wheels. I'm a wheel guy, so for me the wheels are absolutely a must to have. Nice wheels is always a big plus. That's it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.